What if the water simply disappeared while you were sleeping? Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But imagine waking up to find that all water sources, rivers, lakes, even the ocean, have vanished, turning to dust in the air. A curious and frightening scenario that few imagine, but one that could happen suddenly, changing life as we know it forever. This lack of water affects everything. The energy we use, the food we eat, even the simple act of taking a shower. Have you ever stopped to think about how much the world depends on it without even realizing? The truth is, in just minutes, its absence could cause a total collapse of society. And the worst part is that no one really knows what could cause such an event. A mystery that challenges science and scares experts. In this video, we'll explore this unsettling scenario together and understand why water is, indeed, the most precious resource we have. You wake up like it's just another normal day. But when you turn on the faucet, nothing comes out. Not a single drop. You try the shower. Nothing. The kitchen sink. Also dry. First, it seems like a regular plumbing issue. But soon you realize something is seriously wrong. The water is gone. For real. And not just in your house. It's everywhere. Rivers, lakes, oceans. All of it vanished overnight, as if it never existed. It's one of the most curious and terrifying events in modern history. Anyone who was swimming, diving, or out on a boat died instantly. The water turned to dust. And the world woke up in panic, with no idea what just happened. People rushed to the stores in desperation. They're grabbing any bottled water they can find. The shelves turn into battle zones. On TV, they're showing beaches where the sea used to be. But now it's just dry, cracked land. It's like someone sucked all the water off the earth with a giant straw. Sounds like a movie plot, but it's real. One interesting fact. No one heard a thing. The water disappeared in total silence. And the curious part, only exposed water vanished. The water sealed inside bottles stayed. That raises a huge question. What's really going on here? This is when the world realizes just how much it depends on water. For everything. And I mean everything. Without water, there's no food, no hygiene, no power, no life. Everything stops. Nothing works. And the worst part, no one knows what to do. It's like the planet got hit with a massive shock. A giant mystery hangs in the air. Was it a natural event? A glitch in the universe? Or something humanity caused? No one knows for sure. But one thing is clear. If water can vanish without warning, what else could disappear next? 2 days later, a global headline shakes everyone. Scientists finally found an explanation. And honestly, no one believes it. A mysterious energy wave supposedly passed through the Earth in seconds, breaking the bonds between the atoms that form water. A phenomenon so fast that nobody saw it happen. In other words, the water didn't evaporate, wasn't sucked away, and didn't freeze. It simply stopped existing. Just like that. One interesting fact is that this goes against everything science has ever understood. No lab on Earth has ever recreated anything even close. It's as if the laws of physics were rewritten overnight. And no one got to read the new version. The most curious part. The water stored in bottles, tanks, sealed containers survived. And that alone raises more questions than answers. Why was only the exposed water affected? What protected the sealed containers? Dozens of theories pop up. Some say it was a military experiment gone wrong. Others believe it was nature sending a warning. And of course, there are the bold ones, saying we're living in a simulation, and someone just turned off one of the world's resources. But none of these explanations are official. Even the most respected scientists are too afraid to speak with certainty. What we're facing now is one of the greatest mysteries in modern history. While the world tries to understand, real life keeps going and panic grows. People are forming small groups to protect whatever water they still have. Stores are looted. Cities are turning into survival zones. Families lock themselves in with what little they manage to collect. Every drop becomes liquid gold. It's like time is moving faster. Hesitate and you fall behind. The feeling is that the planet has turned into a giant hourglass, and the sand, or rather the water, is running out. Now everything revolves around one question. How much longer can we last? Because if this is just the beginning, what's coming next might be even scarier. You're still at home, trying to make sense of what's happening. The news won't stop, but there are no clear answers. And while everyone's looking for explanations, the world is already falling apart, and almost no one notices. It's curious how the end can start without a sound. Everything looks normal, until it doesn't. Within minutes, power plants that rely on water begin shutting down. Hydroelectric dams stop. Thermal plants fail. Even nuclear plants go on alert. One interesting fact is that most people never realized how deeply water and energy are connected. But they are. And without one, the other dies too. The lights go out. The internet starts to fail. Cell phone signals vanish. Cities slowly sink into a strange, haunting silence. It's one of those moments that will go down in history, like the 2001 blackout in Brazil, but global, with no warning and no idea when or if it will end. Hospitals switch to emergency power. Elevators stop with people still inside. Traffic lights go dark. Everything that runs on electricity begins to break down. The most curious part is that chaos doesn't arrive with a bang. It creeps in slowly, like a shadow swallowing everything. And by the time you realize it, it's already gone too far. With every passing hour, the world gets weaker, darker, hotter, and fear grows just as fast. That's when reality finally hits. Without water, modern life is just an illusion. Fragile house of cards. And the first card has already fallen. People try to stay calm, but tension fills the air. Parents hide water jugs from neighbors. Businesses try to keep backup generators running with whatever fuel is left. Some pack up and head for the countryside, hoping to find a hidden stream. But there's no safe place left. The entire planet is dry. And that changes everything. Changes how we live, think, and feel. One of the greatest mysteries is, how did we become so dependent on something without even realizing it? And the scariest part, what happens to the cities now that they're completely in the dark? With the oceans gone, the planet starts to boil, literally. Heat spreads like never before. The seas once acted like a giant air conditioner, absorbing the sun's excess heat. But now, without that natural shield, Earth enters thermal collapse. Temperatures rise within hours. It's like someone tossed the planet into an oven with no off switch. One interesting fact is that the oceans used to store up to 90% of Earth's heat, acting as an invisible barrier. Without them, even nighttime, which once brought relief, becomes suffocating. Sleeping turns into a physical and mental challenge. You toss and turn, drenched in sweat, hoping a breeze will slip through the window. But the air outside feels even hotter than inside. Clouds vanish. No evaporation means no condensation. No condensation, no rain. And without rain, there's no hope. Crops die quickly. Plants dry out. The soil cracks. Livestock collapses from thirst. What was once green turns brown. And the curious thing is, it's not just rural areas that suffer. Cities are collapsing too. With no trees and no shade, the pavement becomes a sizzling griddle. Sidewalks burn feet. Children can no longer play outside. Schools, now unbearably hot and poorly ventilated, shut down. The few fans and air conditioners still running on emergency power. They shut off for good. One mystery that puzzles many scientists is how the atmosphere dried out so quickly. It's like the planet lost its breath. And now, every living thing has to learn how to survive without it. In this scorching new routine, fear takes shape. You see it in people's eyes, in the sweat dripping non-stop, in conversations growing shorter and more desperate. Families hide in basements or set up makeshift shelters with tarps, trying to escape a sun that burns even the shade. Sunlight on your skin now means pain. The smell of the world has changed. Now it's all dust, dry earth, and sweat. Time feels stuck, as if the day refuses to end. One of the most historical facts people recall, like the European heatwave of 2003 that killed thousands, now feels small compared to this new global reality. What was once an exception has become the norm. The planet isn't just dry. It's cooking, slowly. And the scariest part, heat might not even be the worst of it. Because sometimes, in the middle of desperation, something unexpected happens. And maybe, just maybe, a single drop could change everything. After 2 days that felt like an eternity, the silence is finally broken by an unexpected sound. Cheers, laughter, and celebrations erupting in the streets. It's the news everyone desperately hoped for. Someone has found water. A subterranean well was discovered, and water begins to flow, though only in small amounts and with a strange, almost metallic taste. This moment marks one of the most curious and hopeful events in recent history, demonstrating how hope can emerge in the most unlikely places. That first drop of liquid isn't just water. It's a symbol of life, a breath that reignites dreams and strengthens the will to keep fighting. But this discovery comes with its own mystery. Why does this water taste different? The bitter flavor, the odd color. All signs suggest that it might be contaminated or undergoing some unknown chemical changes. Despite the fears, people drink it anyway. After all, it is life in liquid form. And when the entire world is parched, every drop counts as treasure. Communities quickly organize to protect the well, setting up shifts and guards. The solidarity that seemed lost with the disappearance of rivers and lakes starts to return, showing a curious and remarkable side of human nature. Yet, this drop is only the beginning of a longer wait, the wait for rain. Nature, which until now seemed indifferent and distant, becomes humanity's last hope. Each cloud in the empty sky takes on a sacred, almost spiritual meaning, as if carrying the weight of survival itself. As days pass, you begin to realize that even with this progress, the real challenge is far from over. The planet remains dry, hot, and dangerously unstable. Anxiety builds with every sun-soaked day without rain, and the fear that all this water might vanish again tightens around hearts like an invisible grip. This is a true test of human resilience, a moment that will be recorded as one of the great historical facts marking the beginning of a new era. The questions multiply. How long will this water last? Will the skies open up and pour rain in time? And if the rain doesn't come, what then? These are mysteries that have no clear answers yet, reminding us just how fragile our control over nature really is. The cycle of life is suspended, and the only certainty is that the wait, the hope, and the struggle continue. Now that you've seen what could happen if the water simply disappears while we sleep, the question remains: are we really prepared for such a crisis? Do you think humanity could survive such a rapid and silent collapse? What changes do you believe we need to make today to avoid this disaster? These are questions we all need to reflect on. After all, understanding these mysteries and historical facts isn't just to satisfy curiosity. It's to prepare us for the future. If this video sparked a sense of urgency or a desire to learn more, don't stop here. subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and keep exploring these fascinating topics that can change how we see the world. Knowledge is our greatest weapon against the challenges of tomorrow. And you, are you ready to face this reality?